What is up, guys? How are you all doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking. And what do I here with a quick little video where I'm talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is H1Z1. Yes sir, the hugely anticipated survival horror zombie game, whatever you want to call it, has been released a couple of days ago, and I've actually been playing it and having a lot of fun. There are a lot of problems with the game, however, and I will explore all of the things, the good and the bad, in this review, as I always do with my in-depth reviews, and this is going to be no different. The only thing that's going to be different about this video is I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. You guys know that usually when I do reviews, they're about 20 to 30 minutes long, because I really want to get into detail. However, I understand that not everyone has a lot of time to sit down and watch like a 30-minute or 25-minute video in terms of a review about a game that they probably haven't played or probably haven't seen much of. So I don't want to get into too much detail, but I do want to tell you the major points and hit on the main topics so that you can have some sort of generalized understanding about what the game is, how it operates, what it plays like, what it looks like, etc, etc. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, H1Z1 is a zombie survival game. You have to go around looting and scavenging and crafting and creating things to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. Pretty standard stuff in terms of gaming. It's been done many times, time and time again before this. Biggest example I can give is DayZ. Other examples include games like Rust, The Forest, This War of Mine, and so on. Now, not all of those games are zombie survival games, but they are survival games, and some of them have zombie elements. However, they all pretty much go into the same genre. Now, first things first, the game didn't have the best of launches. Yes, it is a nice product, I've played it and I've had a lot of fun with it. However, the launch was particularly bad. Now, the major problem the game suffers from is the fact that people are finding it difficult to connect to the game, difficulties with connecting to servers, difficulties in maintaining connection to the servers. So even though you do connect to games eventually after like 2-3 hours of waiting, initially that is, sometimes you find yourself disconnected for no apparent reason whatsoever. Now, that's a huge problem when you're connecting to online services. You need to maintain that connection to have that constant stream of service. However, in this case, maybe it's because there was an overwhelming amount of people that were trying to join onto the servers. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but the servers crashed and they would not work. Like, the website was down, the servers were down, the games were not even launching, they were not operating or working in any sort of capacity, and that happened for about 4 hours as far as I know. I'm pretty sure that's fixed now so people can connect to the game. However, there are still other problems. For example, when you join a game or when you join the server for the first time, sometimes what happens is the character that you spawn in with is dropped from the sky and you hit the ground and you just start running. You don't take any damage, and it's very weird because the whole point of these games, like these survival games, is to achieve a certain objective, and that objective is to get the gamer, the person playing the game, and to fully immerse them in this world. It's very difficult to do that when you have a character that just descends from like 1,000 feet in the air and comes crashing down onto the ground and just walks around like nothing happened. But I'm pretty sure that's a minor bug or a glitch that happens every now and again, and I'm pretty sure that they would fix it also. The animations. Now, the animations look very derpy. They do not look smooth at all. I mean, the features in the game are great, but the animations to do those features are just insane. I mean, some of the things are really nice. For example, the hand gestures, the dance moves that your character can do, just like the characters from World of Warcraft. You could click a button or click a collection of buttons and your character can dance or do a certain gesture or move, which is very cool. But other animations like chopping wood or chopping down trees, fighting, punching, using melee weapons and things like that just look very jerky and not smooth at all and look really stupid. And especially if you go into third person, you can clearly see them. Even animations like walking and running just look completely out of place. And of course, the final bad thing I say about the game is mainly to do with the player base and the community rather than the game itself. It's just like DayZ or any other survival game where people are literally killing you on site without a warning, without any words spoken, without anything said, nothing being typed in the chat or no voiceover messages, nothing. Just literally kill on site, and that's never going to change. I mean, the community will always take a game and break it or use it to their own devices, use it in their own way. Even though the developers didn't intend for the game to be used like that, the community will always find a way to achieve that objective, which is very unfortunate, but it's something that is entirely inevitable. If you have a game like this, the community will play it in that way. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. However, it's something that needs to be acknowledged because it does exist in the game. But anyways, enough about the negatives, let's get on to the positives. Now, the game itself looks very good. I mean, the scenery and the settings look marvelous. It is fully immersive because you have different types of trees, different type of buildings, and even the interior of the buildings are completely different in layout, so you do have a sense of, oh, this building is completely new, I've never seen it before, I've never been here before, let me just go check it out. So it is fully immersive and realistic in that sense, and I love it because the problem with DayZ was that there were very limited number of buildings because of the engine that they built it on, and furthermore, they were all just copy and paste. I mean, even the coloring of the buildings were identical from one to the next. So when you play H1Z1, you definitely get a sense of, oh, this is a new town or this is a new environment, and it has that kind of authenticity to it, because if you go around any place in any world, you'll see that not every house is identical to the one down the road or the one next to it even. And I like the fact that they've added this variation in terms of houses, buildings in general, trees, bushes, vegetation, vehicles and whatnot. So everything does feel slightly unique, and I think that's a very cool concept, and it shows that they've put a lot of time and effort into this game. Next is the crafting mechanism. Now I think this is one of the most intricate and most detailed crafting mechanisms I've seen in any game, especially in the survival genre. You can use many different types of supplies and materials to create many different items, weapons and gadgets. There is a huge process of learning these things. You can use a wide variety of different items and supplies to create different entities, such as weapons or resources. You can pick fruit from trees and bushes, you can craft weaponry, you can craft gadgets, you can create campfires and whatnot, and I believe there's even a building modification factor in there. I'm not sure if that's fully available right now, but it's definitely a feature that they're working on. And it's those little intricacies and those little details that make the game better, because let's face it, it is about the little things. It always has been and always will be. The addition of these little items and these little features, little ideas and concepts is what elevates the game from being good to being great. And I think that's the major difference between DayZ and H1Z1. DayZ is kind of like a copy and paste large scale scenery, whereas H1Z1 is a lot more micro, a lot more specific and a lot more detailed, including the microtransactions, which is not a very nice feature that I talked about in the previous commentary, but we'll kind of skip that for now. And going off the similar topic, I love the fact that this game has a wide dynamic in terms of weather and area and setting and scenery. It also has hydration, stamina, energy and health bars, which are associated with your character. Of course, you have other things like inventory management and the acquisition of certain items or apparel, you know, clothes and whatnot, that can give you a definite advantage in the wild, so that you can pretty much survive for real and have this self-sustaining character that can live off the wild and fend for himself. And I think it's very cool. I just believe overall that H1Z1 is a better game than DayZ. It has more features, it has more content, it has more support, and it's definitely moving at a fast rate in the right direction if you kind of negate the pay to win factor. But we've already discussed that in the previous commentary, so check that out if you want in the description below. However, apart from that feature in the game, this entity that is H1Z1 is pretty much bang on. I really like it. I think that people who like the zombie horror or survival genre would really enjoy this game. I don't know if you should pay money to play this game, because remember, when the game is fully released, it's going to be completely free. You don't have to pay a single penny to play it. The only reason why people are paying to play the game now is because it's kind of early access, so they want to generate a large sum of money to keep them funded and to carry on developing the game more and more. However, if you're really not interested in games like this, you don't have to buy it now. You can definitely wait for a few months and then get the game for free. But anyways, that's pretty much my review. Again, I didn't want to talk about every single detail that I usually do in my reviews, because I wanted to make this video shorter than normal. So if you enjoyed it, leave it a like. If you did not enjoy it, leave a dislike. Let me know in the description below if you play the game, if you're planning on buying the game, or if you're going to wait for it to be free to play. And certainly let me know if you agree or disagree with the things I said in this video, and let me know if I've forgotten any major points. But anyways, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Sniper474, and I'm out. I'll see you on the back.